Money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
What is going on, believers? Guys, I hope everybody is having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves, and we are going to start off our day with some serious SHIT. And I'm told you can't say shit because that kind of shit isn't allowed. So right here, you can see this is the last 48 hours of trading on Ethereum. And guys, I am not kidding. This is, listen to this. Here is your normal trading with your buys and your sells, and sometimes they take a little bit of time. These are 1 hour candles, so there's a lot of minting that goes into this process. This is, by the way, where we bought just a couple of days ago. What is it now? 7 days? 6 days ago, we bought at 12.21. We bought 15 Ethereum, and now it's down over here at 10. What are we at? 10.34 right now. But listen to this. For the last 2 days, we're talking over 48 hours. For the last over 48 hours, we have barely had a green candle. Now that is a massive level of collapse. Now here's the other part. We're actually seeing these are the two biggest green candles that we've seen in a few days. Look at the size of this one. Now there's a lot of trading, you can see that, and there was a lot of sell-off. You can see that as well. This is the first big green candle that we've had, and then this is the biggest positive green candle that we've had in a couple of days, which makes absolutely no sense because the pre-market is now down 320%, which would normally indicate that we're due for a sell-off. So it doesn't make any sense. The Dow was down for the course of the day, just slightly, just a few points. Good morning, Seiko Hunt, man. I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Crypto B, good morning. And you can see here the NASDAQ is down 141, S&P is down 43. So, we're ready for another big sell-off in the morning. So we're looking for a little bit more negativity. But here's the thing. At this point right now, I don't think that we have the catalysts going downward and creating that downward pressure. I don't think that we have them right now to get down to 13,800 or even Seiko 15,000 or the 700 on the Ethereum. I don't think that we have that in place right now. This is not the time. What's going on, Eddie? What's going on, Jay? So I think the time, by the way, and we're not that far away, by the way. This is not that far. If we continued on the path that we're on right now, then we would be there in a couple days. But I don't think that we have enough to get there because there's still too much support. Remember, the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, the fundamentals of everything that we are doing. What's up, Cody Core, Mike? The fundamentals of everything in this market are still very positive and very good and solid. Now, we do have a whole bunch of different things, and we're going to cover a bunch of those this morning as we look at the openings of the market and see where this thing goes. Bitcoin, by the way, was down to 18,876 a few hours ago. It's now spiked up about 400 points now. I don't want to call it a spike upwards. I guess that's probably not the best words to use because it was already down 2,000 points in the last 48 hours. So, but spiking up 400 points is a good sign that there's at least some level of support right around 19,000, which we already knew existed. So here we are. Hamid, what's going on? Cody Core, how you doing? First of all, Grayscale has now launched a lawsuit against the SEC for rejecting its Bitcoin ETF application. Now, this is the craziest level of Gary Genslerized insane stuff that you've ever seen. Now listen, here's the deal. Grayscale has Bitcoin Trust, right? Now what it's trying to do is get a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. What they're wanting to do is they want to switch their ETF that they have right now, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. What they want to do is they want to turn that, which, by the way, is based on futures trading, and they want to make it on spot trading. They want to make it based on current prices. They don't want to trade on futures. Now, Why are we in this disaster? Why are we experiencing this type of disaster? Why are we, if I zoom out, why are we looking at this crazy level of disaster stuff? Leverage trading. How do I know that? Because I'm not retarded. I'm sorry, because I don't have extra chromosomes. If we go look over here, this right here, all of this right here, collapse of Terra Luna. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the collapse of Terra Luna. This all goes back and it all ties into these weird positions that we've been in. This is a natural downward cycle. This is our all-time high right here, 48. It's 48, but you guys get it. We're close enough. So it's been downward like it, but we knew this was going to happen because that's the natural cycle. You get a pump, you get a dump, you get a pump, you get a dump. That's the natural cycle of cryptocurrency. It's a natural cycle of any market. Good news brings it up, bad news brings it down. What's going on, Kev? And you see here, we catch a little bit of wave in January. There's a little bit of positive sentiment. It runs up a little bit more, goes down from 23 to 33. Good run, pops back down to 25, goes back up to 35. Listen, this is the normal trading on the way down. It's all it's doing. But now we've reached this sort of catastrophic thing. And it started at the beginning of the Tera Luna fiasco, and it just continues to go down. Well, I say it started at Tera Luna. It was already on its way down in the natural order of events. It wasn't triggered by that. It just helped. It just didn't help because we're getting to Tera Luna is like right over here. That's where this catastrophic level of sell down came from. But look here, you can really see on these day charts that we were not minting very many good candles, but we had just done that. So we're really just balancing ourselves out over the course of a month, right? We're just having it's basically a bad month right here. And then Tera Luna happens. And then everything starts to spiral out of control and leads us down here. Now, mind you, we're feeling really bad about where we are right now. But as we zoom in, we're not even at the low point that we were at not too long ago. We're close, but we're still not there. We found this level of support, which seems to be our line here. Now, the question is, how many times have we hit this line, and how many times are we going to hit this line before that support breaks? Well, I don't think, for anybody who's really curious about that, what's up, Diggy? I don't think that anybody, I don't think we're ready for 700 yet. I think that the issue right now is what's going to happen here is I think we're going to get a little bit of a rebound. I'm not saying that we're going back to 1200. I'm not saying that we're even going to have a good number out of it. I think we might get a little bit of support out of this because D-Day, now, and by the way, I could be wrong here. But D-Day is July 13th. That's when we get the CPI. That's when we're going to really know what this market is about and what's going to happen next. We're going to see once the CPI tells us what the inflation level is. Remember, it was 8.6 last month. If it goes up some more, then a couple days after that, we're going to be having that meeting, and we're going to be talking about the Fed, and the Fed's going to tell us what the new basis points are. And the basis points were 0.7. They were 75 basis points last time, which is 0.75 of 1%. So we're going to see this thing start to move to the downside, and we're going to see a great period of accumulation way down here as this plays out. Now, to be fair, the worst thing that could happen to crypto, and nobody wants to hear this, the worst thing that could happen to cryptocurrency right now would be a good CPI report, because that means that dip would not be happening, or it would be manufactured, and it would just start spiking. It's, if we have, but we can't have a good report. I don't think that it exists, right? But we're kind of holding out that, look, the U.S. government has a way of manipulating things. So this is nervous. This is one of those situations where you want perfect honesty, and you want this transparent sort of answer that you're going to get from the federal government about it. You don't want the federal government to have their hands in it, by the way. Like, you really don't want the federal government to have their hands in it, but they're going to have their hands in it, and they're going to manipulate data to make it look better. So you should be very, very nervous about anything that you see. And by the way, we're going to take a quick look over here and look at the Dow Futures are continuing to decline. So we're looking at a massive sell-off. So, but let's go back over here, because this July 13, that's the day, Seiko Hunt, that I think that everything is going to get really out of control. And yes, we can be in a bear market for more than a year. However, that doesn't mean that you can't make money. There's plenty of opportunity and plenty of opportunities to just pump and dump on tokens and make yourself plenty of profit. Like, there's plenty of buy and sell tags that we're getting here just in Ethereum. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I'm already locked into a trade right here at 1221. So I'm a little bit down on this trade, and it's been 6 days right now, which annoys the shit out of me, because I could have pulled, but I was called away to a meeting. Then it went down, and like each time it pumped up, I didn't get an opportunity because I was like busy doing something. I wasn't paying attention. I was asleep at the wheel, basically. So I didn't get a chance to like get myself out of it. But I could have made a few $100 here. I could have made a few $100 here, just by hitting these tags and just doing some buying and selling, right? So I'm annoyed by that, but you know what? We'll get over it. So now we've got this downward movement here, and you know, we're minting a second green. Usually when you mint 2 greens, if I get that third one that continues to pump up, then we're going to get like a buy tag, and then we'll get maybe a little bit of a run, maybe something subdued, but we'll see. But anyway, so Grayscale, which all of this stuff is caused by leverage traders that are leveraging everything, and the whole thing is collapsing around it. What's going on, Sub-Zero? This is collapsing around it because leverage traders are getting wrecked. Now, listen, we always want to see leverage traders get wrecked. We want, because one side always gets wrecked, either the longs or the shorts. Like, so it's not something new, but it's gotten so bad that everybody, long or short, got wrecked on a couple of these different things. However, the people that are outside the market, it was my understanding that Citadel, who shorted the UST, made $800 million to wreck Tera Luna. That was the outlying end result of what was going on there. They made $800 million in profit for wrecking Tera Luna. So it basically paid them to destroy that company, which, hey, you know what? If it's a company that can be destroyed, I'm not saying that it should be destroyed, by the way, but if it can be, and it's not protected and prevented from that, then it's on its own. It's not safe to invest. And I know a lot of people are experiencing bad things because of it, but I mean, in the end, like, we're all grown-ups. We're all making grown-up decisions. And if we're not investing in the research to figure out what's good and what's not, then, I mean, we make a mistake, we pay for that mistake. I mean, that's what it means to be a grown-up. So back to Grayscale, though. They have now filed a lawsuit with the SEC. The SEC and Goldman Gary are probably going to do everything they can not to answer this, but to keep they're gonna be kicking this and punting it down the road. Remember, Grayscale 2 weeks ago hired Don Verrilli to come in, and he was a former prosecutor for the Attorney General of the United States, and that is a big deal. And he's taking this case. He's not taking this case because he wants to just try it and see what happens. He thinks he's got a victory, and he thinks that he can win. And when you get to the Supreme Court and you want to be able to fight and win, then, you know, there we are. And here's the thing, you know, we don't like it. Some of us don't like the Supreme Court right now because we think that they're ideological lines. Listen, Muslim prayer is back in schools. Like, if your teacher decides that they're Muslim and they want to pray to Allah, it's now okay to do in schools. So, and that's their freedom of speech working. That's their freedom of speech. And listen, this is a religious group of people in the Supreme Court, and they're allowing religions to do what they want to do. So, and you get the good with the bad. Like, at some point, because the last time this happened, it was in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma had to put out a statue of the satanic deity Baphomet with children on his lap out in front of their courthouse because of religious freedom. and they had to cancel their religious freedom after that. So we're going to see this thing kind of play out in some weird ways. But this Supreme Court does follow an ideological principle, and that ideological principle does lean a bit libertarian. So the fact that this probably goes in front of the Supreme Court is an incredible opportunity to change the face of cryptocurrency, but it's going to take a while for it to happen. However, let's move on just a little bit. Here's the 3 worst things that happened in crypto in the month of June. Number 1, Roger Ver goes broke, owes millions. And what this says here is rumors were doing the rounds this month that Bitcoin CEO, Bitcoin.com CEO, Roger Ver owes millions to exchanges. Days later, CoinFlex CEO Mark Lamb took to Twitter confirming that Ver owed the exchange 47 million USDC. Reportedly, CoinFlex gave Ver a 47 million uncollateralized loan, and he had a long on Bitcoin Cash. Reports state that, hey, he was betting on it to go up. So, ouch. So he owes him 47 million. Then he says, recently, some rumors have been spread. You know what? I should put on my Roger Ver voice. Recently, some rumors have been spreading that I have defaulted on a debt to a counterparty. These rumors are false. Not only do I not have a debt to this counterparty, but this counterparty owes me a substantial sum of money, and I'm currently seeking the return of my funds. So, look, there's a contract, and I'm sure that we're going to find out what's going on in very, very short order. But look, this is another example. We're seeing it again. This is what we're seeing play out over and over and over again. Leveraged traders getting wrecked and collapsing different parts of this market. And I don't want to say, again, I don't want you to be caught in the crossfire, but this is a beautiful thing for the industry. Not because I want to see people get wrecked, but because some people don't deserve to be here. Some people deserve to get shit on. I'm sorry, SHIT on. And they deserve to fall. They deserve to have this collapse. If Roger Ver can't control himself and he can't do things the right way and he can't make this a safe and wonderful space for everybody to be in, then he needs to get out, and we need to get him out. And if leverage trading is the way that he gets out, flush him down the toilet. Terra Luna, if Do Kwon, if that's what we need from Do Kwon, let's get Do Kwon out of this space. Let's get the bad actors away from crypto, because if we get them out, then the good actors feel a little more confident in what they're doing. Now, remember, we're in the DeFi space, so we're in a shady sort of area. We're always going to have problems, but if we can minimize the big problems up at the top, then the big problems up at the top are not as big a problem anymore, and everything is better because of it. The reason that people are in this space right now looking at regulation, even though we're not seeing it, doesn't look like regulation until maybe 2024 at the earliest. The reason that this is even being considered and that it's even being pushed up, especially in the U.S. market, by the way, but the reason that this is being pushed right now is because of the collapse of Terra Luna. And in the United States, this is a sad moment. Like this is very sad to say, because you really expect so much more from the U.S. government. You expect so much more from the U.S. government. When you have Democrats in charge, they try to look out for everybody, as we would hope that everybody would do naturally. When you have conservatives in charge, they say, hey, you're on your own. It doesn't mean that they don't care about those people. They mean that the church needs to take care of those people, or benevolent organizations need to take care of those people. It's not the job of the government to take care of those people. Regulation is the Democrats' way of stepping in and saying, hey, we need to take care of people. That's what's happening right now. So we're seeing this regulation, and when I say it as Democrat and Republican, it really isn't. It's ideological principles, and it's the principles of the difference between the liberals and the conservatives, and libertarians in the middle who are really kind of conservative right now. But it's not really a party line. It's more an ideological line. But there's always, we have to do more to help other people. No, you don't. You need to leave my tax money alone and use it for what I voted for you to use it for, and not just create new ways to waste my money, because everything that you do turns to garbage because you're the government. You can't do things right. So We got to get the bad actors out, and the U.S. government is a bad actor. The other thing that happened, Three Arrow Capital gets liquidated. Singapore-based cryptocurrency hedge fund Three Arrows Capital owes Voyager Digital 15,250 Bitcoin. 3AC defaulted on the $1 million debt and failed to repay it. Voyager Digital sent a default notice to Three Arrows Capital and filed a lawsuit. All this comes at a time when the crypto market came crashing down and Bitcoin fell below the 20,000 mark. Now, some of this had to do with the crashing of the market. That is true. What they're not pointing out is that this is a leverage-based company that's doing leverage-based shit, and they're offering 9% interest or 10% interest on stuff, or they're letting people borrow money and leverage themselves in these bad positions during a market. Listen, Three Arrows Capital did exactly what anybody who's watching this would expect it to do. It over leveraged itself. It put itself in a bad situation. When the market started correcting, it felt like it had made accommodations for it. But I think, as some of you might have experienced recently, and you might have felt recently, just when you think things can't get any worse, they get a little bit worse. And things got a little bit worse. So now, instead of owing 10,000 Bitcoin at whatever price it was, now it's up to 15,000 Bitcoin. That's more than they have. They just don't have that many. So they're put into these bad positions. And listen, you put yourself into bad positions, then this is the end result of it. And the last thing was Michael Saylor is down $1 billion on Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing. Michael Saylor does not give a single solitary fun day, doesn't give a single solitary care about being down $1 billion. And neither does MicroStrategy at this point. But the media does, because guess what? That's what drives people into being nervous, and that's what drives subscriptions, is the craziness of it, right? Michael Saylor's firm, MicroStrategy, suffered $1 billion in losses after Bitcoin tumbled down this month. The king of Bitcoin faces severe loss as the crypto market showed no mercy to both big and small players. The word in the markets turned negative as the top leader who holds Bitcoin turns sour. Also, Saylor purchased 480 Bitcoin yesterday, worth 10 million, expressing he still believes in a comeback. Listen, that type of, just the sentiment, the nerve of this prick, this great writer, Vinod D'Souza. Oh, you know what? I don't like him to begin with. Now I understand it. It all makes sense now. This is a crybaby. This is one of those crybaby writers that his job, I don't know who he's paid by. It can't be Watcher News. He's got to be like an affiliate or something like that, because but here he is. And listen, his wording is basically telling you MicroStrategy suffered $1 billion in losses after Bitcoin tumbled down this month. Also, Saylor purchased 480 Bitcoin yesterday. What he's doing is he's upplaying all the negatives, and then he downplayed. Yeah, and Saylor also bought 480 more. So this is just one of those people. Like, I hate writers like this. They're disingenuous, and they're at their worst when they get into the big media. They're at their worst. But even in the small thing like Watcher News, you can see it right now. This guy just does not like it, and come to Cali, run by wonderful Dems, regulations for everything. Listen, I am a big fan of Bill Maher, sidetrack, and I saw Bill Maher spent like 2 years. He was trying to add solar panels to his house, but he had to have a shed built and all kinds of stuff. And he'd been complaining about it on his show for like 2 years. It's absolutely insane. Like, this is the amount of regulation. All of this stuff is like insane. So yeah, I definitely understand. Like, and I know that there's a lot of regulation everywhere. And yeah, part of the thing that people don't understand about like Trump supporters is that they just wanted the world to be a simpler place, because it's become incredibly complicated. And just because Donald Trump didn't express it the right way doesn't mean that the people don't have that same opinion. Like, that they want a simpler time, a simpler place where everything doesn't sound so bad, and everything is not just treated like like every problem is not your problem. Like, you know, that's what's happening with the media, and that's what's changing the world, and they don't like that. So, all right, now the next one is crypto crisis, how digital currency went from boom to collapse. Now, look, this is another one of these Vinod D'Souza guys right here. Like, how digital currency went from boom to collapse. And, you know, we could jokingly call, like, listen, here, this is how dumb these guys are, right? I mean, you have to think about this in context, right? So, this is now they're telling you all about it collapsed. And they're using Yuri Popovich, who is a citizen of Kyiv, and he says that he bought $10,000 of Tera Luna, and the collapse, he lost $10,000. Said his losses were devastating, right? So, okay, but listen, what we're going to have to go to CoinMarketCap to look this up. It's only going to take me a second. I don't want to sidetrack you guys. I want to stay on it. I hope my ADD doesn't kick in, but we're going to look at the cryptocurrency, and we're going to look at the global chart, and we're going to look at exactly what these guys are talking about right here, because it looks like they are going from, and I want to match this up, son of a bitch, from 2017 to now. So we're going to go from 2017 until now. So we're looking at the same chart that these guys. Here's what the collapse of cryptocurrency looks like. The collapse of cryptocurrency looks like in July. Well, we're gonna have to go to June, right? Because we're not in July yet. So let's just say in June, and we're just gonna look. In June of 2017, the crypto market cap was $112 billion. In June of 2018, the crypto market cap was $280 billion. In June of, well, we're in July, I think. No, we're in June. Yeah, June. In June of 2019, the market cap was $302 billion. In June of 2020, the crypto market cap was $258 billion. In June of 2021, mammy, look what they done to me, mammy. $1.6 trillion in June of 22. Right now, it was as high as, but let's go with today, $900 billion. So in 4 years, 5 years, right? Yeah, 5 years. So in 5 years, the crypto market has collapsed from 100 billion all the way down to 9 times what it was at 900 billion. These people are the dumbest. Like, this is why you can't trust media. This is why these people don't deserve jobs. Like, this is insanity. They're taking something that in 5 years has given you a rate of return of 9 times. They've given you 900% increase, 900% on your returns over the course. And no other market has done that. 900% on the returns. And you know what? If you played it right, 30x, sure. But they've given you 9x on your money if you just put it in back here. All cryptos, not just some, all cryptos. So to do this is this is irresponsible, and it's just absolutely bonkers to have a title that says Crypto Crisis, How Digital Currencies Went from Boom to Collapse. It's not a collapse. It's $900 billion. A collapse is when it goes back to numbers that it hasn't achieved and settles in areas that it was years and years and years ago. It's not doing that. So their article here is, it's impossible and unsafe to store funds, blah, blah, blah. He says his losses were devastating, although donations from sympathetic people. I stopped sleeping normally. Now, and this is tragic. I don't want to understate this guy's tragedy, because this guy's tragedy is real. Popovich is one of many experiencing the deep chill of the current crypto winter, more than 4 years after the market's cornerstone Bitcoin marked the first digital freeze by tumbling from its peak. It went on a long fear, crypto boom, a new digital economy, and then it just goes on and 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 on about how great and where everything's awesome, everything's great. The explosive growth of NFTs over the past 12 months has now leveled off. And then the crypto crisis has played out against the backdrop of wider market problems as fear over the Ukraine conflict, rising inflation, and higher borrowing costs stalk investors. Some market watchers play down the prospect of a crypto crash triggering serious problems elsewhere in the financial markets or the global economy. The total value of all cryptocurrencies is about 1 trillion currently, which compares with approximately 100 trillion for the world's stock markets. Okay, so we're 1/100th of their stock markets, of the world's stock markets, right? Since November, the value of all cryptocurrencies has fallen from 3 trillion, meaning that 2 trillion worth of wealth has been wiped out with no serious knock-on effects to the broader stock market so far. So these guys just put together a whole bunch of words, and I'm gonna, by the way, because I did not get a chance this morning, I'm gonna have to read this whole thing and just pick this thing to absolutely apart, because to me this was just the dumbest thing that I had seen. And then I got one here that it said crypto crash. Oh, crypto crash widens the divide between the rich and the amateurs, and I'm not giving the New York Times money. So pre-market, by the way, let's get back over here. 314 is where it's settled in, and Dow was at 31,029, and we are down 390 points so far. So big sell-off in the market to start off the day. Ethereum, it looked like was minting a green candle, had a nice big green candle, and now it's got a little mini American-sized candle. And if you're from America, by the way, I didn't mean that. And if you're not from America, I meant it. All right. So anyway, guys, we can look at this global economy, and these guys are just being disingenuous about what they're talking about, because they're trying to manipulate you, and they're trying to scare you, and they're trying to prevent you from doing, because they have a bias baked into their psyche. They either like or they don't like crypto, and they're trying to do things to you to get you mentally in order to, you either care about crypto or you don't care about crypto, and they're just cooking it in to the articles so that you know that this may not, like you might be messing up here if you invest in cryptocurrency, because it's just bad. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Like these guys are they are not looking out for your better interest. They're looking out for the better interest of what they think is right. They're looking out for fiat currency. That's what they're looking out for. Those are the people that they're looking out for. They're looking out for the institutional money that's already out there, and they're protecting that institutional money. Now, it doesn't mean that some of the things that they're saying are not not dishonest or are dishonest. It doesn't mean that the whole article in itself has no merit. Doesn't mean that. It just means that they're using this to try to scare you, because like in their mind, they're doing you a service. They're protecting your money. And that's bullshit. Reporting the facts should not, and you know what? Maybe I should back up and say, maybe they have a bad editor. Maybe the editor of their article at The Guardian is just a low-down scumbag like Gary Gensler. You know, maybe he's just the the digital equivalent of Gary Gensler. So I mean, it's entirely possible that that's the case, and it's not them. Maybe they didn't put that title out there because, you know, they're not idiots, and he is. And by the way, guys, this minted a green candle, Market Cipher B. This minted a green candle at -91. Now, when it mints a green candle at -91, you are usually in for a just incredible sort of run, right? You don't see the mint this low this often. The last time we saw something this low was right here. It was literally when this thing bottomed out at 940, and within a couple days, it had run up to 1,189. So minting something this low tends to mean something good in the market. We'll see if it does, but it's an inauspicious start. So let's move on over here and let's kind of check out our neck of the woods. Oh, we'll take a quick check in on Terra Luna. I did say I wasn't going to do any Terra Luna, but now I'm intrigued by what's going on over there. It seems to be like, if I'm doing the math right, and I did a video on the math of how to reconcile some of that Terra Luna stuff last night, and there's a significant chance that that in very short order with and I'm not an insider, so I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of interest from a lot of very big people right now in pumping Terra Luna, both of them. So when you come over here and you look at, and there's no reason at this point for UST Classic. There's no reason for UST Classic to have a pump of any sort, right? But in 14 days, it's gone from 0.007 dead. I mean, 0.007 dead to 0.09. That's 120x for some people. And now it's dropping back down a little bit. So it's really now this is the overnight. I don't know what happened overnight. Maybe it couldn't support it just because, you can't just pump this thing all the way up to a penny. You know what I mean? Like it's just not gonna, or this one you can't pump up to $1. So it's not gonna happen that way. But you could see how they're both kind of tied together still, and they're both doing what the other one does. You can kind of see it right here and here. So, we'll see what happens over the next bunch of days, but there is some serious interest in pumping this thing. So, maybe, just maybe, there's a life-changing opportunity there for some people who got in. I have 10 million, by the way, over on Station. So, and I'm just letting it sit right now. I'm waiting, by the way. It's worth 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Haha. But one of the important things was it passed, by the way, to re-enable staking. So I'm just waiting for them to re-enable staking. I keep trying to stake every day, and I haven't been able to yet. So we'll see. And a whole bunch of people, have decided to become validators. Yo, you can't be here. Jesus Christ, man. Take that shit somewhere else. Binance sold off is what happened. I'm not sure that it's Binance. I'm not certain. Like, I heard rumors because Binance was involved, but it was coming from Binance. It was not actually Binance. It was just a wallet from Binance. However, the other part to it was KuCoin and FTX were also doing it as well. So this was a coordinated effort by some people to start pumping this thing. And one of the other pieces was since the burn is being implemented on those exchanges, there is a significant amount. I mean, there is a significant amount of burn that they could accomplish. With a 24-hour trading volume of $757 million. So, and it had over 1.2 billion in trading volume at one point. So, if it keeps doing all this stuff and it starts this burn actually kicks in, and this total supply starts to rapidly diminish in some way, because there's 3 different burns that are going on. So if they can actually burn a bunch of tokens and reduce the supply, like I don't need this price to go any higher than whatever the current market what's the market cap on this goddamn thing? Tera Luna Classic. Here we go. So the market cap is currently 822 million. So at 822, 810 million market cap, it doesn't have to do more than 810 million market cap. It just has to burn the supply. So if it burns the supply, then as the French say, we good, dog. Matter of fact, I did. Pop this in. All right, so this was what I was doing with this thing last night. So the current value was at 15.78 when I did it, with the target being 10 cents. Really was trying to do it for $1, but the market cap at that point was 1 billion. The supply was 6,555,268, which is still 65553. So the market circulating supply went up, so not down, by the way. Total max supply, I think, is the one that we're really looking at to see it go down. It's going to take me a day or two before I really see that. But the target supply is 10 billion. That's the goal. The goal is to get it to 10 billion supply. At the current trading price, that would be 1.578 million market cap. But this thing is at 1 billion market cap, which means that if it has 1 billion volume a day, which I'll get to the other part, but 1 billion volume a day, if it's trading $1.2 billion a day, or even at this point, $770 million, the burn at 1 billion volume is 189,712 every single day. That's burns in. That's 1.2%, right? Total tokens would be $1.2 billion per day. Now, if we did that, then it would take 5,453 days to get to 10 billion, or 14.94 years. Way too much. But this is in and out. So this value here of 1.2 is being charged to the in transfers and the out transfers. Some of those are going to be doubled up. So it's going to be more like 2%, 2.4%. So then that turns it into 2,726 days. And then that's 7.7 years. But then if you go over here and you start to see an actual pump in the market cap and you see it start to move upwards, if 20 billion market cap, then this gets sped up by 20x. If this actually gets some support, and by support, I do mean like it needs to have validators, it needs to have people that are interested in it to keep the project moving. And if it does that within a year, it could be down to 10 billion market cap. So it is entirely possible in a very and this is not going to happen, by the way. 20 billion market cap is probably just a little bit too much. But if it went 5x or something like that, like life-changing money could be yours in a year or two. You know what I mean? Like, again, you know, that millions of dollars. I have 10 million right now. And if I can get out of it with, I'm way up, by the way, already. But if like I could get out of it with 50 grand, shit, why not? So I'm going to hold on to it for a little while just to see what happens. All right, so we're starting to see a sell-off again. That green candle is not going to stay. We're now getting the big... we're getting the big disgusting Americans doing the disgusting American cheeseburger thing. So there we go. Cult DAO, it's a slow rug. I took 12K proc, but now it's out. These devs had a project I liked before called Spy. Oh, God. Yeah, listen, I just don't see... Look, I just don't see it. I don't understand why. Look, I mean, let me rephrase that. I understand that people see it and they're like, I could be part of a cult. I'm going to stab myself because I'm awesome. You know, I can see people doing stupid shit, right? Because people do stupid shit all the time. Half of the people in there are just mouth breathing hate mongers. So, and I want them to prove me wrong. So like I've talked to their Mr. Oda, whatever his name is. I talked to that guy, and no, it's not hard. You can actually sell it anywhere. But like they were given, like, okay, look, I went here and I found Cult DAO, right? Then I wanted to make sure that this is the right Cult DAO because it has all the markings of Cult DAO. So then I went here and it took me to cultdao.io. Fine, right? So then I made sure and I went through and I made sure it was the right Cult DAO. So this is right. Then I did the video and then they told me I'm not looking at the right Cult DAO. I'm looking at a different one. And then, you know what? Let's go over here and you guys can look at it for yourself. So then they tell me, oh no, you're not looking at the right Cult DAO. And I'm like, are you what? Then I start getting the replies here. And then somebody gives me, all right, so this is somebody who's giving me what they're funding. So now I've got things that I can fund that I can read through the funding. By the way, if you go down here, here's what I've done so far. I went through here and I started and Falcon 9. Are you shitting me? Falcon 9. So look, Falcon 9 was the first thing that they funded, right? All right, and here is Falcon 9. Now, I'm going to do something here. Let me click Falcon 9. Let me click Cult. All right, Falcon 9. What is Falcon 9's supply? 999,999,999. Well, that's a little weird because nobody launches with that. Everybody does like a 10 million or 50 million or, you know what I mean? Like they have a very specific something, right? Well, what does Cult do? Oh, 666, 666, 666. Hey, isn't that the inverse of 999, 999, 999? It seems like it. It sure appears like it. So then I looked at the day that they did it, the day that they donated the money of to F9, and then what happened on the day that they gave the money to F9? Well, let's go back and let's look. Because I don't want to be accused, like Charlie, of or anybody of having donkey brain. So, what happened? Oh, what have we here? It's April, right? So they gave the money on April the 3rd. So here it is, right here. This is the support of the project right here, which drives it. It just spikes this sumbitch all the way up to 3509, right? 35. That's where we get that big spike, right? And then what happens? Within 24 hours, it's now back down to where it started, and it's even lower. It's like they took whatever they pumped into it, caused an artificial pump, and then just milked it for every dime they could get out of it, leaving it with a market cap of 951 million. Now, some of this is going to be the market. I'm not saying that it's not the market, but that's exactly what it looked like. So the thing with 99999 and the thing with 66666 got together and pumped a token in order to dump a token. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I can't be the only one seeing this, right? And their holders continue to diminish, and then the cult holders, they're not changing. So, but then I'm on the wrong one. So then, after I'm told that I'm on the wrong one, Mr. Automata or whatever his name is sends me a message, and that message has a link, and that link, I click on the link, it takes me right here. So even he's using the same link that I'm using, even though I'm being told by those people in the cult that I'm using the wrong link. He's sending me the link that's the right link. So then, the next one was three. The next one was inverse finance. And so here we go. Inverse finance yield initiative, right? So let's go to inverse finance, because you know what? It can't be. There can't be. Look, it's got to be, right? So all this just got to be incredible stuff, and it's got to be just this stuff has just got to be incredible, right? So let's go look at inverse finance. Where the hell is inverse finance? I know it's here somewhere, right? It's got to be somewhere. None of those, because they only have 40 investors, right? And by the way, at the same time, they decided, there we go, inverse.finance. So this is inverse finance. Here at Inverse Finance, we're decentralized by design. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Swiggity wheat. Scale your earnings with positive sum rewards and revenue sharing. Awesome. Earn more with decentralized capital efficient lending and borrowing. Ha, 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 ha. Love leverage. We already know that from this broadcast. DOLA, borrow from fully collateralized low interest stable coins. Oh, look at this. Now, inverse price 80.54. Oh my God. Like this thing has got to have, this is gigantic. Okay. And then here is the supply. Listen, this is big. Like, so let's go buy some, right? Let's enter the app. Let's go enter the app. We want to buy DOLA or we want to buy INV. INV price, we're going to buy it. So we got to go to Sushi Swap, right? Because that takes us to Sushi Swap. So now we know that on inverse finance, we're looking for Sushi Swap. All. Why am I, dude? I swear to God, wasn't Polygon Sushi Swap? Am I losing my mind here, guys? All of a sudden, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just go look at inverse right here and see. Now, why can't I get? Well, it says Ethereum right there, right? I connect with Ethereum, and then we get inverse, right? And at 80.54. Wait, transparency, overview. No, that's not really what we're looking for. That's just the. Let's learn more. Here's the team. The team is at Noor, at the Alien Tourist, at Pat B, at Nelfel, at Based Zeno, at Nakamomo, at Crypto Harry. Let's see what their pictures look like. Oh, right. We don't know who they are. All right, so let's go to the drop down over here and let's go to, like, I don't understand. Like, Ethereum was Uniswap, BNB was Pancake Swap. I thought Polygon was Sushi Swap. I think the important thing, though, is what we need is, where is basics? INV token. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Don't post the contract. Don't post the contract. Where's the contract? That's what I'm looking for, by the way. I'm looking for the contract address. All right, but at this point, is anybody else like nervous here? Like the first one that I did was 999 versus 666, right? The second one here has undoxed developers. I can't find anywhere to trade other than I need the contract address in order to do it. It says that it's wait. Sushi Swap is Polygon, right? Yeah, it's Polygon. So all I need is Polygon. Inverse. And it is a DOW, by the way. It did say governance. So here we go. All right. So it's $77. Trading for $77 now. Market cap 10 million. Let's this has got to be just rocking it, right? Like, I mean, this has got to be the dream. So let's do this on the day because it's been here for a while. So it's got to be just crushing, right? All right, guys, I want you to look at that chart right there. This is their chart, okay? This is Inverse Finance that launched with an $1,800 token that's down to $77.90. How is this not a rug pull? How is this not? And it's got some crazy amount of tokens. It's only got 190,000 tokens. So, the crazy one, right? Like, I mean, help me out here. What am I missing? Because they're telling me I don't get it, but it looks like you just pumped a rug and then you just pumped a rug again, right? And then there's where you gave the money right there. And what happened again? What happened again? Here we go. Let's zoom in and let's go look what happened. Here's where we pumped the money in, right? April 2nd, we pumped the money into the DOW. And then what happened? It all got bought up, it all got sold off, and then it tanked after that. So seriously, this is cult DOW. Look, if you're just a corporate raider token and you're just like robber barons and you're like crushing different tokens and screwing people over, okay, perfect. At least that's honest. At least now I know what you're doing. But here, Shibaverse, they're not the Shibaverse. They're investing. They decided that they were going to try to get listed in the Shibaverse Web3 wallet because they're going to create a Web3 wallet. That's not. Pool together for lawsuits and NFTs. What the having a billboard in New York City. DeFi education by 3.0 DAO. I don't know what 3.0 DAO is, by the way. I know that it is in some way affiliated with grifters, and they are, or if not affiliated, they like them. Bone Shiba Swap. That was to get listed on Bone Shiba Swap. I started going through this. This is to get listed on CryptoCart. Like as I started going through this, like most of this stuff just made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. Nothing that they're doing. Pulse Chain, Pulse X. What are they doing? Basically, they're buying some Pulse X and Pulse Chain tokens and hoping that it moons. So that's at least positive. I mean, I'll give them that one. But the rest of the stuff is just like crazy. And I just don't get it. I mean, how low does it have to go before I... Oh, and by the way, listen. And they're pointing out, they pointed out to me that they're pointing out to me that I'm looking at the wrong chart, right? Well, like the whole thing is just a disaster. Like it's just crazy. Like Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna keep going though. I want to see what happens. And as far as what happened with Phantom, Phantom got basically $3 million to build a project, and they're spending $3 million to build a project. So they don't have anything to report, and they're not sponsoring. They're not partnered with me anymore. They decided that they were going to save their money during this downturn market and not partner with anybody, and they're just going quiet and doing whatever it is that they do until the thing is ready to launch. So, ta-da. Right. One, no, because it actually, like we were told in advance that there was a use case that this was going to do something. Go to the manifesto of Cult. It doesn't do anything. It still doesn't do anything. It doesn't have anything. So there we go. I invested 30,000. It's now like 6,000. I understand. But I know that I'm going to get mine back because I wasn't look, I wanted to get in a pump and dump. I wanted to get it. I wanted to get the pump. I wanted to get my money back out, my initial investment, and then let the rest ride. But I didn't get that lucky and I didn't get to do that. So that's no, like, I don't care because in a couple months, they're going to have a working product and I'm going to make money off of that working product. So that's not the same thing. There's literally a project being worked on that I've seen. So, but anyway, my time just, my alarm just went off. So my hour's up. So, all right, guys, this one's been a goddamn cult, man. I swear to God. This was not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I am always right. And guys, that thing makes me nervous. So if you're invested, more power to you, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Have a good day, guys.